Arsenal defeated Nottingham Forest, but can they actually catch up to Liverpool? Has Pep Guardiola ever lost 5 games in a row as a football manager? Is Victoria Plzeň a better team than FC Barcelona? And what do the adjectives unparalleled and unprecedented mean? Hello, football fans. Welcome to another episode of the Footglish podcast. Yes, that's right. The Footglish podcast is back, and Nrup is back as well. We don't need to explain who Nrup is, but let's explain what's the Footglish podcast, right? Just in case some people don't know it. It is a light-hearted podcast about football, which is often full of biased opinions. But the thing is, the main is to help English learners who love football. These could be football fans, football players, football managers, football referees, anyone who needs to improve their English through football. Nrup, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you, Zdenek. Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I just don't know when was the last time I was on Footglish podcast, but yeah, I feel different. I feel I don't know. I just at some point I feel like, okay, what were the rules of Footglish podcast? But then, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you just have to be yourself and go with the flow.
Yeah, we just talk about football. I'm going to ask you about Arsenal, of course, because that's the team you and I support. And we're going to talk about the Premier League mainly. And we should also point out, we should mention that we've got another show that we often do together. I mean, you only missed once. You have only one absence, to use the school kind of terminology, right? You only have one absence. And this show is called Heroes of the Week. Do you want to tell our listeners what we do in the Heroes of the Week YouTube show?
Sure, I can give my shot. So the thing is, Heroes of the Week is more about interaction with other fans and other people, along with our opinions, where we have segments where we provide Heroes of the Week, Mad Takeaway of the Week, and other segments which you will know once you check it out. So I won't provide all the details, but
don't spoil
it. I won't spoil it. But it's more interactive, and it is a rather shorter format of Footglish podcast. But
and it's live.
It's nice.
Also
it's
live. We do it live.
Yeah, it's nice.
And it used to be every Sunday, I think at 8:30 or something like that.
8:30 CET.
But now we are changing the time and the day. Now we want to do it a bit earlier. I think at about 6 p.m. Central European time, and on Mondays, right?
On Mondays.
So let's see if this change is any good.
Yeah, it's a pilot idea, but let's see.
All right. So this is just a quick mention of our other show that we do together with Nrup, but this is the Footglish podcast. It's a different kind of thing. Here we just talk about a football topic. So I think let's talk about Arsenal, the Premier League. Maybe we can mention some other matches as well. So what did you make of the Arsenal result?
I'm pretty happy, actually. Like, it's been a while since Arsenal were this dominant. Arsenal were this clinical. Yeah, really happy. 3-0. I mean, I expected much more considering how the game went, but I guess I'll be humble and satisfied.
Yeah. So the opponent was it Leicester City?
No, it was a team that is called Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like if you look at the current table, they were at one point among the top 4 teams.
Right.
And yeah, they were doing pretty well. They had I think they had one of the best defenses in the league as well at one point, and they were doing pretty well. They had a good run.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, like if you look at the scenario, if you look at the pre-match situation, I think of course Arsenal were the favorites because the game was in Emirates Stadium, but still, looking at Arsenal's form.
Recent form hasn't been very good, right? Prior to this game, a lot of games have been lost.
We had like just one win in 5 games, so it says a lot to our form. Whereas Nottingham Forest,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I wanted to say it's almost as bad as Manchester City, right?
Well, I'll stay humble in that case. But anyway, whereas Nottingham Forest, they had 3 wins in 5 games. So, that's a huge difference.
Right.
And yeah, like if you look at, in this situation, we did not look the best in terms of preparation and, with the pool of players that we had, considering we lost Ben White and, we did not have the right amount of forwards. And, I don't think our team looked that sharp. But yeah,
But we
apart
need
from
to
that,
mention one name, Nrup, and that's Martin Ødegaard, because he's back, isn't he?
our captain, our Martin Ødegaard from Real Madrid, a £35 million player.
He has been fantastic for Arsenal,
He's
and
been
we missed
fantastic.
him big time.
Big time.
How long?
Yeah.
How long was he out for?
I would say at least 2 months. Like, because he got injured in 2 international duties ago, if I'm not wrong. It was something with ankle, and yeah, I mean, we missed him. Initially, I thought like we'll manage without him. Like we have a good team.
Yeah, but
our players are fine. Like, it's a similar profile player. If you look at it, like attacking midfielder, we have enough of them. But then, I mean, if you look
he's just something else. He's something else. His energy, his drive, his creativity, his thinking, his decision making, and his ability to press, in my opinion, is unparalleled.
His work rate is incredible.
And one more thing, I've been thinking about this, and I can see some kind of a parallel with Rodri. Yeah. So we missed, because Rodri got injured for Manchester City, and look where they are now, in what kind of mess they are. And he managed to win the Ballon d'Or in the meantime, but that wasn't obviously something that wasn't for the last few months or something. That was for the previous year. But the point is, we miss Martin Ødegaard. They missed Rodri. Rodri's injury is more serious. We are lucky that Martin Ødegaard recovered from his injury, and I think that could be the difference. However, there's one big problem, and it's called Liverpool.
I mean, I still don't see them as a problem yet, because last season we were in a similar situation, and it was them who bottled it, and I expect the same to happen. I mean, winter is here, and it's always in such situations we rise from such, let's say, such occasions or such crisis period. So yeah, I mean, I'm fine. I'm still calm. We're still in the top 4.
But there is a gap. There is a gap now, because they have 31 points. 31 points. Manchester City have 23. And Arsenal, Chelsea, Brighton have 22. So
9 points. Yeah, it's fine.
It's 9 points. It's a lot.
Yeah, but I think if you look at their fixtures, Liverpool had much more easier fixtures than us, and now Liverpool will be having some challenging fixtures. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to them being thrashed by City twice, once by us, and perhaps more times by other teams. I would love to have them also have the same form as City that is having right now, five losses in a row. So yeah, looking forward to that.
That's unprecedented. That has never happened to Pep Guardiola ever before. As a manager, like, he has never experienced this. So this is so unbelievable, actually, especially considering he's just signed. I think it was last week. He signed a new contract, a 2-year extension, which is understandable. Like, even if he loses this season completely, even if he gets out of the Europa League spot or Conference League spot, he will still be the manager, of course. His position is just such that he cannot be fired, in my opinion, for what he has done at Manchester City.
Yeah, I mean, even in the previous clubs that he managed, he was never sacked. He fulfilled his contract and then he left according to his terms. As much as I love what City is going through, I feel sad for Pep Guardiola, because I admire him. He's one of my he's probably my favorite modern day manager. And yeah, I feel
Yeah, I
sorry
understand,
for him, but
because you also support Barcelona, so you obviously there's a connection there as well, of
and
course.
also I like his style of football, and
Mm.
considering Arteta has been inspired by him, so there is some sort of relation to him.
Yeah, that's true. Also rivalry these days. But
Rivalry.
this will be interesting to see how the season unfolds. Obviously, with Liverpool 9 points ahead now, and then we have team like Chelsea under Maresca. Oh my God, they are a real menace now, I think.
They are, but they have been annoying. But I mean, Cole Palmer has been lukewarm, as many people say.
True,
So,
true. But the team
so
works as a unit.
the
The
team
whole
works
team
as a
works,
unit.
and
It's
that's
just
the most
that
important thing.
true, true. I agree with that. But it's just that I believe they're not ready for the title. I don't even think they're ready for top four. But
Okay.
let's see. You know, the season is still early. We're not even halfway through, and you know, many
True,
things can happen. Many things can happen.
true. Yeah, I think
So
realistically, it's going to be a game between those three teams. That is
yeah,
us, Manchester City, and Liverpool. But who
Liverpool.
knows? Even if there are some other teams that are there and thereabouts, like
Yeah, I
Brighton,
mean,
for
yeah,
example.
Brighton could be.
Who would have thought?
Hmm. Because I
Mhm.
mean, if you look at it, last year at this point, we had Tottenham and Aston Villa instead of Chelsea and
Yeah.
Liverpool. You know, they were like Liverpool were like in the first half, like fifth or sixth position, if I'm not wrong.
Mm.
And
Do you
yeah,
know
I mean, you
what?
know, things can change. Yeah, tell me.
I agree. I agree. But I wouldn't write off Tottenham either. I know they are just such a weird team because they
Mm,
lost. They lost against Crystal Palace and also Ipswich, who hadn't won a single game when this happened, and they beat Tottenham. And then this this weekend, they defeated Manchester City 4-0 away from home at the
mm,
Emirates. I mean, that was unbelievable as well. Did you watch that game, or
mm.
did you follow it?
No, I did follow it. I did not watch the game,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, this time Premier League has been much more tighter. I mean, think of it. The points that there is only 3 point difference between the third ranked team and the ninth
Yes.
ranked team or eighth ranked team, if
Mm.
I'm not wrong.
Something like that.
So
Yeah.
that's yeah. So like, you know, how many five or six teams are sharing 3 points?
It's very
Just three.
tight. Actually,
It's
if you
very
look at
tight.
it, the second place, Manchester City, and Brentford in the 11th place is only 5 points behind.
Wow.
So it's kind of
And
funny.
Brentford is more informed than City.
Well, to be honest, every single Premier League team, if you look at the last three games, is more informed than Manchester
I,
City.
I, I would say last 5 games, but yeah.
If you look at last 5 games, I think there is one team which is worse. Maybe more, maybe two. I think
Maybe
Southampton.
Southampton.
Southampton only have 3 points. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm. It's
But yeah,
it's
I mean,
incredible. It's really
very-
interesting this season. I have to say, it's fun to watch. There are some hiccups, blips, and stuff like that. We're just waiting for Liverpool
lots
to.
of injuries as well. But yeah,
Yeah, well, it's football for you. Mm.
yeah.
Anything else? Any other results that stand out for you this weekend, or
Oh
anything
well,
else? You can also talk about other leagues if you want. Why not?
well. If you want me to talk about other leagues, then I would have to talk about La Liga, which I've been following, apart from Arsenal, and that is
Yeah.
Barcelona dropped points again, and you know Barcelona were like I don't know 10, 15 points ahead of Madrid, the
Mm.
current defending champions and with the usual favorites. And they were doing pretty well. You know, they had a fantastic season. Arguably, they have arguably the best player in top five leagues, which is Rafinha. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. And you know, they just last 2 games or 3 games probably, they just
Yeah.
bottled it.
And Nrup, I also have to remind you that Victoria Plzeň, the Czech team, you know
Mm.
that team that where they brew the Czech beer Plzeň, you know that one,
Yeah,
Pilsen,
yeah.
Pilsen. You like that beer, right?
It's okay, but yeah, well, whatever. I still prefer Onyetice over that, but okay.
Okay, Nrup prefers a different beer. Anyway, it's a famous beer from that
Mm.
city. And
It's a
this
famous
team
style as well.
in Europa League they beat oh my God, Real Sociedad, right?
Yeah, the
And
team
then
where
and
Mikel Merino and Mikel Arteta came from, and
yes,
and Martin Ødegaard.
And I'm mentioning it because it was Barcelona who lost to this team, right?
Yeah. Well,
And
they were robbed, but yeah.
Doesn't matter. You lost. Your team
Yeah, at the end
lost.
of the day, yes.
Which means,
On paper,
which means
yes.
Plzeň is technically better than Barcelona.
No, sure, if you.
That is my conclusion I draw from that.
Yeah, that's football for you, the
Mhm.
devil's game. But yeah.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. You know that. That's what we do here as well on the Footglish podcast. You know, it's as I said at the beginning of the podcast, this is quite a light-hearted podcast where everything kind of goes, you know.
So yeah, I mean, in terms of La Liga, I mean, Barcelona hasn't had a good form, and because of that, because of those silly results, it has made the La Liga table also much more challenging. And I don't think Barcelona would like to. I think Barcelona would like to keep a more comfortable position, more dominant position compared to other teams, because Madrid, Madrid towards the end of the season, they are a different monster. And they always catch up no matter where you are. So you would rather keep lots of distance. Yeah.
Madrid. So you think you can make it this season? You can win La Liga?
I think so. I think we can even win Champions League if we have all the players, because Barcelona is also having lots of injuries, and there are some here and there crises. But on a fully fit, I think Barcelona, they have been so far arguably the top 3 best teams in Europe.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay, great.
Getting back to Premier League, some interesting results regarding this week's match day would be Wolves versus Fulham.
Right.
And I'm surprised. I really expected a lot from Fulham because they have our ex-Arsenal players, and
that's right.
I just had some basic expectations from them, and they were thrashed. I mean, I think they scored the first goal, and then they were just thrashed 4-1, if I'm not wrong.
You know, I picked Wolves as my team of the week. Spoiler alert.
I did watch your video.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I did.
I have one more subscriber. I have one more follower that watches the videos.
But yeah, I mean, I was surprised that you chose Wolves. I was expecting Arsenal or some other team.
That's too easy.
It's too easy, I know. But yeah, well, Wolves, I'm surprised. I don't know what's going on with them. Do they have a new manager? How is he? How long has he been with them? Because I remember they recently sacked some manager, their old manager, some British
guy. I can't remember, Nrup. But I guess that's it, because I have to go for a run now, Nrup.
Oh, damn
so
it.
Thank you. Well, it's been enough for today. Thank you so much. And if you guys want to hear more of Nrup, make sure that you watch our live show on Monday at 6 p.m. Central European Time on the Teach Zdenek YouTube channel.
And we'll see you there. Sure that you come on live, interact with us, write down your heroes of the week and other possible questions.
It's different from the Footglish podcast, because there you can actually be part of the show, because we can read out your comments as well.
So yeah, Zdenek, enjoy your night run, and
nice one. It is 2 a.m., so I will be alone in the park, but I like it.
Well, I don't know how do you call Batman in Vietnamese, but I guess you are that.
Thanks for that. Nrup, nice one. You take care, mate, yeah?
You too. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, bye-bye.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Language Corner. As always, in this part of the show, I'm going to have a look at some bits of the English language. This time I've got 4 adjectives for you, which I think can be quite useful to learn. And of course, as always, these adjectives appeared in the interview. So there's a context. You always need a context when you are learning new vocabulary. Please don't learn new vocabulary from apps like, what's the name of that app, the most famous app that everybody uses? I can't remember the name now. But basically, it's like a list of random words, which are often unrelated, maybe only related by, let's say, a topic, but that's not enough. You need it inside a text, inside a listening, right? Like a piece of text
or some kind of speech. That's just way more powerful, way more memorable. You can work out the meaning from context. That's how you should learn. This is actually a piece of knowledge that I acquired at the university and then later at the teaching courses like Celta and Delta. So believe me when I say that this is how you should learn words, it's true. Okay, so before I get into that, I should also apologize for the sound in the actual dialogue that I had with Nrup. As we say, shit happens. Okay, but now I think you're all waiting for that vocabulary. So let's go. Here we go. I don't think our team looked that sharp. So Nrup was describing the Arsenal performance against Nottingham Forest, and he said that our team didn't look that sharp. It's like, if you say that sharp, it's almost like so sharp, almost the same as so sharp. But what does sharp mean? Well, you know, a knife can be sharp. If a knife is sharp, it cuts very well. If it's not sharp, we say it's blunt, and that you can struggle to cut with that knife, right? But the word sharp is also used to describe someone's performance. If your team's performance is not sharp, it means that you are not performing well, you're not effective, right? Your performance is not effective. You're not playing with enough precision, enough energy, enough cohesion. You just don't have enough of these attributes in order to succeed in the game, right? Well, even though Nrup thought that we didn't look sharp, we still managed to win this game. 3-0, I believe it was, right? I think so. Right, next, Ødegaard. We were talking about Martin Ødegaard, and I said that his ability to press, and I was speaking about his energy, and I was praising this player for a lot of different aspects or attributes, and I said that all this, it's unparalleled. I said his ability to press is unparalleled. So that's an interesting word, yeah? If your ability to do something is unparalleled, then you don't have an equal, yeah? No one is as good as you, right? You're the best, okay? For example, often we use it to talk about a product. Let's say, I don't know, Adidas. I honestly don't understand these brands. I don't really buy designer clothes, but I suppose Adidas is quite famous, right? So we could say Adidas's products are unparalleled, or the quality of the products is unparalleled. It means that every other brand is worse, or the quality of their products is worse. I don't know if this is true. Probably isn't, but as an example, that should suffice. That should be enough. Okay, moving on. Now Liverpool have some challenging fixtures, right? So Nrup was talking about the fact that, yes, Liverpool did really well at the start of the season. Now they are 8 points clear at the top of the table before the second team, which is Manchester City. But there is a caveat, right? There's a little sort of but. Liverpool hasn't had any difficult fixtures yet. And the fixtures are about to get much worse, much more difficult. If you say that Liverpool have some challenging fixtures, you could say coming up, then the word challenging there means difficult. Yeah? A challenging game is a difficult game for you. A challenging opponent, a challenging situation. Yeah? Anything that is challenging is difficult. It's a challenge. It will be a real challenge to deal with this, or to overcome this, or to succeed. Okay, so challenging, similar to the word difficult. Okay, and here is the last one. I said that's unprecedented, and I was referring to the fact that Pep Guardiola had lost 5 games in a row, and I said that has never happened before. And that's exactly what the adjective unprecedented means, right? If something is unprecedented, it has never happened before. There's no precedence for it. If there's no precedence for it, it means that nothing that is similar to that just happened preceded what just happened in the past, right? So all these words come from the same word family: precede, precedent, and a precedence. So it's a precedence, right? Precedence and unprecedented is the adjective. If something is unprecedented, it has never happened before. Okay, so yeah, I guess that will be it. Okay, and before I end this episode of the Footglish podcast, let me also add that one day later, after we recorded this with Nrup, West Ham United beat Newcastle United away from home 2-0 in an amazing game for the Hammers. They did really well. It was an excellent performance from them. And guess who scored the first goal? Of course, it was none other than Tomáš Souček, a well-placed header from the corner kick. It was the first corner kick goal from West Ham this season. The team that used to dominate at this is now struggling a bit, but finally they scored through Tomáš Souček. And obviously we all like to see Tomáš Souček score goals for West Ham, don't we? Well, I do for sure, because he's my countryman. That's right. And yeah, so that's all that I will manage to squeeze into this episode. Don't forget that you can support the Footglish podcast. If you really like it, then you can go to my Hero page. You can find the link in the description of this episode and you can support me. Thank you very much. If you decide to do that, I will be grateful to you forever, because to be honest, it's still a relatively young podcast and it's still early days for this podcast. So it will need to grow the following in order for this podcast to stand any chance in the future. I hope it will happen one day. It just will take some time. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.